at the Author Studio at BookExpo America 2013 in New York City. And our guest right now is author V.E. Schwab. She's written a book called Vicious. And if you want to hold it up for the camera, you may.
There you go.
Now, we talked a little bit before the camera started rolling. You had a lot of fun writing this, didn't you?
I have had a blast writing it. Essentially, it's a comic book without pictures, so I just kind of got to give in to all of my superhero, supervillain tropes, turn some of them around. It's all villains.
Give me a little bit of the plot.
It is about two pre-medical students who discover that the key to superpowers are near-death experiences. And so they set out to manufacture their own supernatural abilities by controlling their own near-death scenarios. And it picks up 10 years later where one of them is getting out of prison for murder, and the other one has been on a decade-long killing spree of every supernatural person they can find.
All right, now how did this crazy idea pop into your head?
I started just kind of wondering what kind of superpowers I would write about. You know, you've got the X-Men and you've got a lot of the classic tropes, the storm and the element manipulation, energy, and it's kind of hard to think of new ones. It's kind of hard to think of new origin stories as well, and I come from a background of archetype study, and so I studied a lot of the classic forms of character, and so I kind of wanted to write my own origin story, and I thought the origin story of the villain, it's one of the best origin stories out there.
As you were writing about superpowers, did you ever think to yourself, I wonder what one superpower I'd like to have?
Oh, of course,
and
of course.
What is
it?
I
think I'd like the ability to manipulate time, but not go backwards. I think I'd like to speed it up or slow it down or pause it, because I think all the problems in stories come when somebody can go back and try and redo it.
You really want to know what's ahead for you? Do you really want to know
sometimes
that?
I'd like to fast forward through a Wednesday, I think. I don't really think I want every day
when you got that lousy meeting coming up with the boss, is that it? Now, you have not always written this type of book. You wrote young adults with Disney, correct?
That's correct,
So what made you switch over?
Well, I like doing both. I kind of just fell into a project. I wanted to write something a little darker and to be honest, I wanted to write something with a bit of a blacker humor, a bit more sarcastic and a bit darker humor, and I think that's something that we develop around 18 to 19. I don't think that we get that as a 13-year-old. So it fell really naturally into that for me. Plus, I got to do a lot of violent things. There's quite a body count. There's quite a lot of...
I'm glad you're acting it out in the book and not in real life.
Right? It's good.
Being around Disney all those years, that can make it crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We're kidding,
They're good
Disney.
people.
We're
good
kidding,
people.
Just kidding.
I love you, Mouse House.
What's the difference between writing young adult and writing what you're writing here?
You know, it's really not
as far as
that much.
your mindset.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very subtle for me. I treat my character dynamics a little bit differently. I'm very aware when I write YA if there's a romance thread or what that coming of age feel is like. This book is about the relationship between two guys in college. It's very much you would call a bromance, but a lot of bromance, bro-hate. But it's a really intense relationship between the two of them, and it gave me a lot of freedom I don't think I would have necessarily in YA, where the question would be, but who's the love interest? Who are we going to kiss at the end of the scene?
Well, it sounds like you're leaving some things open-ended. Is this the first of possibly a few?
Who knows? You know, I am not a fan of cliffhangers. My belief is even if you have a series, that every book should have an arc. And so this book definitely has a contained arc. I certainly hope I get to revisit the world at some point now that I've made my foundation and my origin stories and my rules. But yeah, it holds its own.
Were you falling in love with the characters?
I love my characters.
Okay, so there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, I love my characters. We had a joke that my characters' names are Victor and Eli, and my name is Victoria Elizabeth, and so apparently it was the most narcissistic moment of my life. I wasn't aware of that, but apparently I'm acting out some things through my two protagonists.
All right, so you've done young adult.
Yeah.
You've done this. Anything else you want to try before you put the computer keypad to rest?
It's keeping me pretty busy. You know, at some point I probably would like to do screenplays just because I'm a movie junkie. I think it comes through in my writing. I'm very cinematic usually.
Good dialogue?
Yeah, I tend to like dialogue. I tend to write the dialogue first in a scene and then build the scene around it.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm having fun.
It also takes up a lot of pages.
It does.
Because there's not as much writing to do.
It goes a lot faster when you have
It's a
dialogue.
thick book.
It is, but
That's
it goes
a really
fast.
thick
I
book.
promise. But yeah.
You seem to really enjoy the whole process.
I love
You seem
it.
very animated when you're talking about it, and just writing as a living.
It's my favorite. Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
did you
dream
do anything
job,
before you wrote? I mean,
technically, I got my first book deal about 2 months after graduating college.
Oh, cool.
I kind of went out on a limb. I started writing in college, and yeah.
Is it what you studied? Was it a major?
No, I studied creative design. I studied basically design and engineering in a product capacity, but I have always loved writing. I feel incredibly lucky every day that I get to write and get to call it my profession. So yeah, I'm just thrilled.
Now, is the book out yet?
It comes out September 24th.
Okay.
So it's coming out soon.
All right, those who have read it, besides your publisher,
Yes.
has it been well received?
It's been very well received. We've got some absolutely amazing blurbs, New York Times listers across the board, and just some wonderful, wonderful praise. So I feel very lucky.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
Victoria.
you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm anxious. You're holding my copy,
I
by
know,
the
this
way.
is your copy.
You have to give it back before you leave. I want to read
A
it.
lot of people would like this copy. We ran out of copies.
Right. She is V.E. Schwab. The book is called Vicious. Lots of good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.